Hello all, and welcome to part 3 of my kind of collection of stuff. I think I can get through the rest of this tote. The first 2 parts were the same tote. We're still on the same tote, so I'm thinking 3 parts for a tote might be the way it has to work. But, and the only reason I have to keep doing it in parts is because YouTube won't let me make a video over 15 minutes yet, so, yeah. Moving right along, I got an old Halo Master Chief. I think this is McFarlane. Could be wrong. Probably wrong. But, love Halo. Always have. Also got a Power Armor. Fallout. I believe this is from the Fallout 4 series. I do not like this figure. I can't remember who specifically made them. I don't think it was McFarlane. I think it was somebody else. But on mine, the leg kept popping off. And it's just a regular ball and socket joint, and it's just a pain in the ass to keep popping back on and off. I like this figure. I bought it when I first saw it here. Walgreens exclusive Bizarro. So, yeah. Awesome figure. This was actually the very first Marvel Legends I bought in the Toy Biz era. Or Toy Wiz, however you want to... when they changed their name. But, it's the old Marvel Legends Colossus, and he comes with a destroyed Sentinel base that you can pose him on. But I love this figure, and I've always kept it. Again, my favorite X-Men, so... and again, there he is again, 3 3/4 Colossus. I believe this is more from his Astonishing X-Men run. I think that's his Astonishing look. Maybe a little less pointy on the shoulder pads. My favorite horror movie villain of all time, Freddy Krueger. This is, I believe, the original NECA release with the long arms. There's one that does not have the long arms. This one does. And I think it's a little bit more harder to find now, so I'm happy I found it when I did way back in the day. I mean, he just looks great. There's his claws. He's got the long arms from that alley scene. That's just creepy as hell. Love Freddy. He's my favorite. Mainly just because of the personality and the charisma he kind of has. And he should be the worst one because of his background. But it just seems like everybody kind of likes Freddy. A Marvel Legends Nightcrawler from a couple years ago. That Jim Lee line where they were making everybody from the 90s. There's Nightcrawler. Let's see if I can find the other one that was that. Again, horror movies. Jason. This is a NECA Jason from, I believe, part 3. Friday the 13th 3D. I just like the older Jason look, just the shirt, pants, hockey mask. Call it good. Jason Voorhees, not my favorite villain. He's just kind of a big 8-foot zombie, so not a whole lot of personality going on, but he does have an iconic look. 3 3/4 Spider-Man 2099. Funny enough, I actually bought this same one when I went to Comic-Con in San Diego in 2011 for a friend of mine. They were having a deal, and I had to find one more figure, and that happened to be the one, and I gave it to him. And then years later, I bought one for myself. This is the Walmart exclusive Thanos. I believe this came out around the time of... I think it was the second Guardians movie. Either way, this was a Walmart exclusive. And I eventually found it at one of the Walmarts in a town near me. And I actually found it not that long ago, which is funny. So it must have been sitting there for a minute, and nobody bought it. Marvel Legends Genis Vale. I just like his look. I don't know much about him. My friend Cranky knows a lot more about him than I do. But I just like his looks. And, of course, I already have Marvel, so I got Genis as well. I have a comic book Mysterio. This is actually a gift. Again, I'm not the biggest Mysterio guy, but I'm not going to turn down gifts. Black Panther. I liked Black Panther. You know, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. That sucks what happened, just to lose somebody in the prime like that. Especially a character that meant a lot to a lot of people that way. But I've had that one for a while. One of my more recent favorites. 90s Beast. Jim Lee Beast. I love Beast. He's one of my favorite X-Men. So had to get this when I saw it come out. I showed you a Watchmen comedian earlier without the mask. There he is with the mask. I mean, literally that's the only difference. One thing I'll say about that Watchmen movie, it has a great cast. And they all do a very good job, especially Jeffrey Dean Morgan as a comedian. This is a NECA battle damaged RoboCop. RoboCop is one of my favorite movies as a kid, so he's one of my favorite characters ever. And I like this look. It's kind of that look when he, after he fights Ed 209 and all the police kind of have to turn on him and because they're being told to. So there's that. These are kind of random. These are old, and when I get into more of my wrestling toys, you'll see I have a lot of older Jakks toys. Not really bone crunching, mostly from the Ruthless Aggression era. And these are from that era as well, when they made Rocky toys. So Rocky 1 Stallone, and Rocky 1 Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers. I remember buying these, and I honestly have no idea why. I guess I thought they were cool, and they were in scale with my wrestling toys. They were made by the same company at the time, so just kind of went with it. Marvel Legends Mystique. I think that's a Walgreens exclusive. Killmonger. I think I got that just because it came with my Black Panther that I ordered at the time. NECA Evil Dead 2 Ash. This is the original one. This isn't the new Ultimate. This is the first one they came out with. Love the Evil Dead. I think Evil Dead 2 is my favorite one, so I went with that one. Again, I said it before, I used to really like Namor, so there's Marvel Legends Namor. That might be Walgreens too, I don't know. A lot of these I randomly find at Walgreens, so it's kind of funny. In Infinity War Thor, so got him. Who else we got in here? Kind of getting to the end of this box, so. Oh, yeah, Weapon X, I believe that's 1 or 2 years ago, Marvel Legends. That's part of the set, so we'll do that later. Arkham Riddler. And got some Bandais in here. Oh yeah, okay, I remember these. We'll get to those in a minute. 90s Gambit, Jim Lee Gambit. Locke from Halo as well. Halo 4 specifically. No, Halo 5, my bad. Guardians. Captain Marvel. Arkham City Batman. An old NECA Altair, Assassin's Creed 1. And I'm going to try to kind of rapid fire these. I might give a little bit of explanation for them. I used to be really into Kamen Rider. Not so much anymore, but at one point in time, I watched a lot of Kamen Rider when I could find it on YouTube or shady websites. So I've got 5 Bandai Kamen Riders. Kamen Rider, the original Kamen Rider. So Kamen Rider 1. I have Kamen Rider Black, my personal favorite one. I think a lot of people will probably say that's the best Kamen Rider. I think that's... I want to say it's a unanimous consensus, but it might not be. The most recent one and this is right around the time I stopped too, was Kamen Rider Double. Where there were 2 different Kamen Riders and they could combine together and they had different color schemes. I believe this is just his regular version. It's like green, black, and purple. Kamen Rider Kuga, his regular form. And then probably my favorite design of a Kamen Rider, and he's not even a main Kamen Rider, he's actually a secondary character in the show, but it's another, let's see if I can fix it here, another Agito from Kamen Rider Agito. So Agito is the guy who's the regular Kamen Rider in that series. This is kind of like the second guy that shows up, and he has the ability to transform too. And I always liked his story and his look. I think he's just a badass looking Kamen Rider. Kind of like gritty, organic, buggy form. And his story is that, like, I believe it's him and his brother, and they went hiking in the snow or something. One dies, he loses an arm, and they kind of cadaver his brother's arm onto him, and so he has like those phantom pains of his brother, and that drives him to become this kind of vengeful Kamen Rider, anti-Kamen Rider, I guess. But I always just like the look in that character and the story arc, so yeah. A couple of smaller things here that I kept, just like from memory, but old Marvel Legends used to come with these comics packed inside of them, and I never opened it, I just kept it. I'm a huge comic collector now, so I know these are kind of worthless, but at the time I didn't, so I just kept it in the plastic. This is the one that came with Colossus, so yeah. It's funny because I actually have the real issue of this comic book now. Not the weird reprint. Other than that, all that's in here really is a bunch of bases for action figures that I won't go through, and one NECA Godzilla. I'm going to wait to show you guys that until I unbox a couple of Kamen Rider, wow, I'm getting my Japanese products mixed up. Until I unbox a couple of Godzillas that I bought recently. I'm going to do unboxing for those, and then I'll kind of bring this guy out for a comparison. Yeah, so that's tote number 1 down. In the next video, we'll kind of start going through tote number 2. I'm gonna guess, like, based on how this was 3 parts to get through this one tote. So, you know, I would imagine that this is, the next one's probably gonna take as long. So, yeah, thank you, and that was the first one down.